Hello, everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. We have a wonderful show tonight. I'm super excited about my guest. So we're going to introduce her to you, let you know who she is and what she has going on. But before we do that, I am your host and producer. I am your contact for tonight. So we're going to definitely just dive in. And what I want you to do is I want you to gather all of your girlfriends, gather them around your TV shows, share. Go ahead and send this broadcast out because I truly believe that it's going to impact and change lives tonight. So let me tell you who we have in the house. We have Dr. Angela Harden-Mack. She is affectionately known as Dr. Angela. She wears many professional hats. Her unique skill set: she's a physician, she's an international speaker, she's a coach, she's an author, she's a Bible teacher. She has 25 years of experience of just helping and empowering other people, especially women. She is the proud CEO and founder of Live Great Lives LLC, Women's Empowerment Coaching. She has been recognized by Call to Inspire um, as one of the top 50 empowered women. She has been featured as an obesity expert in print and television. She has authored two books, Honey from Heaven and Picture Your Life, Your Great Life, 21 Principles and Reflections for Great Living. We're going to be talking about that tonight. And she is the proud graduate of the Johns Hopkins University, as well as Wayne State Medical University. So you don't want to go anywhere. She is a speaker, she's a coach, she's an author, and we are excited to have her here tonight. So after our intro, I will bring to our virtual stage none other than Dr. Angela Harden-Mack. So don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this show. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. We hope that by the end of our show, you're left feeling empowered, motivated, and connected. So come on in the room, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and enjoy the ride, because you're finally at home at Kiva's Place. Now give it up for our host and producer, Coach Kiva Lernice Murdoch.
So, welcome back, family. As I mentioned to you earlier, if you're just joining us, we have Dr. Angela Harden-Mack in the house tonight. So, how are you, Queen?
I'm great. Hello. I'm so excited to be here. Hey, Coach, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It is my pleasure. I'm so excited to just be able to just converse and to learn a little bit more about you. You are definitely a woman that is accomplished. You have a lot going on. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Tell our audience a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Yes, well, I'm Dr. Angela Harden-Mack, and I bring you greetings from the Midwest, Detroit, Michigan. I am so excited and honored that I'm living my dream life as a physician. And my story with that is from food stamps to physician. Came from a very humble background, warm, loving family, tight knit, but we had a couple of years financial reversal. So food stamps, free lunch, government cheese. If you know about the government cheese and the peanut butter, that was us. But praise be that my family, my parents were positive, outgoing. My parents didn't allow that temporary setback to define our destiny. So it was all about, you know what, get up, we're going to do this, we're going to overcome. And so with their encouragement, I was able to push forward to realize my dream to become a physician. And as a professional woman, more than 25 years as a physician and empowering women and some other avenues as well. When I started, I was like a lot of professional women. I was grinding. I was just working. I had my hustle on. And so I was superwoman, like, a lot of us were, but superwoman wasn't getting it. So I had to make a decision. I took that S off my chest with all of that tension and stress related to that. And I put the W on for well. So I went from superwoman to well woman. And that's why I'm so excited to empower other women, to let them know that you can be well, you can be whole, and live your great life. So I'm really excited about that.
I love that. And let's just break that down a little bit because I think you really encompass everything that I really want to highlight tonight. But let's just back up to the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning because I think your story is extremely powerful. And I honor your transparency because you were talking about how you really had to pull yourself up by the bootstraps because of the beginning that you had. And I really um want to thank you for sharing that because there are some out there that may not believe that they have that that potential within them to actually come from the bottom and work their way up to the top. So tell us a little bit about what actually inspired you to just not want to be one of those statistics that
Mm-hmm.
we so often hear about when we are born into a poverty situation.
Mm-hmm. It starts at home. For me, everything, all the good stuff starts at home. My parents, my mom, my dad were positive people. My dad achieved all of his degrees while working and raising a family. So, yeah, he was, eventually before he died, he was doctor, hard, with his doctorate, but he worked. So I saw my dad, I saw the work ethic, I saw that life ethic where, you know what, I'm going to take what small amount I have and work it. So my parents are positive. They, it was always about the glasses half full, not about half empty. Had a great work ethic. I remember my dad, getting ready for work at night, ironing the clothes, making sure the lunch was prepared. And it wasn't a focus on what we didn't have. We didn't have a lot. Now, mind you, we had a lot of love. We had some things. We never went hungry. So I'm not going to tell you it was like we went to the refrigerator and it was empty, but we didn't always have what we wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because kids, you want some of the name brand stuff, but my parents were, this is temporary. So it was about go to school. Education is huge in my family. Go to school, do well in school. I mentioned, my dad had, several degrees and it was do your best. So I got that from home all the time. I love you. I'm proud of you. Teachers, supported very tight knit community. And there was, I was raised in a village. I was fortunate to be from a community that's how we embrace each other. Lots of love and support.
And I love that because, as women, especially African American women, I really can't speak on other cultures, but for us, we are kind of, raised and nurtured that we got to wear the weight of the world on our shoulders. Like we're supposed to be able to just do it all and do it all with a smile, right? And there are some out there that may not feel like a village, having that village is imperative. What would you say to that woman that feels like she got it. She doesn't need anybody in her corner,
Mhm.
either cheering her on or supporting her or backing her up.
Mhm. I would say you need that. And that's one of the things when I talk about, my formula, 5 steps to live a great life. We all need a community. We were not designed to live alone. We need someone to cheer us on, to celebrate us. We need the people we can be real, with, especially the higher you go up, whatever your path is, where, the number of women gets to be less, something you need people in your corner that when you go home, you go to your church, you go to your sorority, what have you, you can be, I can be Ange, I'm either Ann or Ange. So yes, I'm Dr. Harden-Mack, I'm some other things, but I have my people, my friends, my girls, my sorority sisters. I have really good friends who are doctors. We came up together. We trained together where when it's time, I can be Ange or I can be Ann and we can celebrate because we identify with that. So we need that. If you don't have someone right now in your corner, I would say, coach, we talked about, God and moving. Ask God and then be open to allow him to show you where to go. And then when he reveals to you someone that you can connect with, do that. And I did that. I remember I was a young adult in church, and there weren't many young adults, and I felt lonely. So you talking about real, talking about transparent. I felt lonely. There were only a handful of us, and I was preparing to leave the church because I needed someone to connect with. And we were at the church retreat, and I was in the bathroom. I just started crying. Right, I'm newer to the church. I'm newer to faith and crying. And one of the ladies, asked what was wrong, and I told her I was lonely, and I was really contemplating leaving the church because I didn't have a friend there. And she said, if you want me to, I can be your friend. So I had to be open and transparent to tell her that that is what my need was. Again, mind you, that was a big, huge deal for me and it was a little scary, but I did, and she befriended me. And for the I think I stayed at that church probably like 3 years, and she was my friend. She was my contact during that time. So we have to
Mhm.
let people know what our needs are.
Exactly, exactly. You just said it perfectly. We have to learn to be transparent and let people know what we need. And now I'm gonna be 100% transparent. That is still something that I still struggle with to this day, but it's something that once you recognize it, it's important to just work through that, because we can't do it all. We can't, because what happens is we burn ourselves out and then we feel like we are just in this world alone. And I know that you also experience that overload, right? So tell us a little bit about what that actually looked like, because some people may be experiencing that and not really understanding that they are under a lot of stress. So for you, when you say you went through that period of overload, what did that look like for Dr. Angie?
Yes. Well, first of all, like you mentioned, it, women, because of society, there are certain expectations for women everywhere. It's not just a Michigan thing. It's not just a U.S. thing. It's not just a 2022. Since the dawn of time, women, we were considered chattel. We were considered possession. So society has set things up where our expectations or what is expected of us is not the same for men. So when
Mhm.
we are moving according to our calling, our desires, and our expectations, and we want to say, I know I'm called to do more. Society's not always going to open their arms and say, okay, hey, I see you're gifted. I see you're anointed. I see you this. It's like, really? And there's a pushback. So when women show up, we have to show up. Oftentimes we have to work harder. We have to be smarter. We have to do more to prove ourselves compared to our male counterparts. And even with that, sometimes, and studies demonstrate this, our rates of promotions can be less, even being paid. And I experienced that too. That, yeah, you do the same thing, but your pay can be less. So when we talk about that and we talk about the requirement to do more, and while for a lot of women there's a desire to build a family, whatever that family dynamic looks like, it could be you're raising other children, maybe nieces and nephews. It could be that you're raising grandkids. It could be adopted, foster, what have you. Building a family for a lot of women is happening at the same time, building careers, working jobs, going up the ladder, and building businesses. So these two things that are very important for us, the family and the career or business, the world of society would tell us we have to choose. Okay, you can have
Mhm.
a great family, but then you can't have a great career, or you can have a great career, you have to put off doing it for the family. So I was, right out of residency, starting my career, I had young kids at home. So I was building both at the same time. And so for me, physician, as a doctor, the intensity level is already up here just by the nature of what we do. Healthcare, people get sick and some other things. And so I'm taking call once a week. I'm rounding in the hospital 1 week per month. And that meant that I was working about more than 100 hours per week. So I was doing things at home. I was working more than 100 hours per week. We didn't have this huge house, so I was still doing housework myself, right? Because that was part of me being humble. These are some things I needed to do for me. My mom stayed home with us, and I love that. She encouraged us. She said, you can do what you want to do. So for me to keep my sanity and to feel as though I'm not sacrificing my family, I don't want to be an absent mother. Like, okay, where is she? Yeah, she's out here doing this, but where's our food? Where's this? So I was doing housework. I was doing grocery shopping. I was helping the kids with homework, and I even had the goal that when I got home, I wanted dinner on the table within 30 to 45 minutes. So these are things I set up for me. And on Sunday, going to church, my family had a hot breakfast every Sunday. So I was just doing it, and that was a lot. And I felt as though I had to do that because anything less than that, right? Remember, successful, accomplished woman, superwoman, that would mean I was a slacker. So after doing it and going at this rapid pace, someone close to me recognized what I was doing. Was like, take that S off. Why are you trying to be a superwoman? You're doing too much. Remember, I was going so fast, right? Because I was on this grind. At first, I couldn't stop because this is how I kept it going. But hope thankfully, in a couple of days, I slowed down a little bit and thought about that. So that was a lot for me. We get stuff done as women, but I tell you, if I had not changed, chronic stress and definitely burnout would have
Mhm.
been down that road because that level of intensity, and a lot of us do that, it gets us where we need to be, right? And part of that is the adrenaline is fun, but if we're not taking time for wellness, that's not sustainable for us to be whole and well. And that was one of the things
Yes,
I recognized.
that is so true. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what happened to me. I started my business in 2018, and that was me. I was going and going and going and going and going, did not stop till finally that happened. I experienced burnout and I had to take some time off. And to be honest, it took me months to finally get back into that space to be able to get back into the grind. But I'm careful
Mhm.
in how I am operating, how I'm moving, and I'm making sure that I'm taking that opportunity to take care of myself. That same things that we teach and that we preach and that we coach and that we counsel, I was not doing that,
Yeah.
and it literally took me hitting a brick wall to be able to recognize within myself where I needed to correct those habits and make better choices and options to be good, to be whole, and to be sound, not only for everybody that's around me, but for more importantly, for me. And as women, we really don't, I think we are conditioned to feel guilty or to feel selfish if we take care of ourselves. So it's important that we really start to recognize
Yeah.
where we need to slow down and
Mhm.
take those steps back and make
Mhm.
sure that we are taking care of ourselves first.
And you said an important word. We feel guilty. We feel guilty when we take time for us, or we feel as though we have so much that requires our time and our attention that if we slack up, right, that
Mhm.
we go without, our family goes without. Excuse me. Hmm. So that's that people pleasing. That's part of that guilt. That's a whole look. That's a whole conversation in and of itself. Whole workshop, right? Some of the things that we experience. Yes. Hmm.
It really is. It really is, and some of that is we don't want to look a certain way. We don't want to come across as being, a certain type of woman, So you're right. But tell us a little bit about your coaching because I do understand that your personal experiences led you down this path to be able to coach and empower women. So tell us a little bit about Live Great Lives LLC.
Yes. So passionate about that, and what I have been successful in and getting that wellness, that balance, is the driving force for that. I was able to find relief. I remember I said I was overloaded. I had so much going on. I was feeling that strain. I was feeling that stress. And I knew life was good, but it wasn't great. And we are all created for greatness. Now, when we discover that and when we decide to step into it, that's a personal journey for each of us. But I knew I was created for greatness, and that I was doing wasn't that. So by helping women, regardless of where they are with their career, job, what have you, it's about helping women to identify that work-life balance. Now, I know sometimes people say, oh, it's not work-life balance, it's integration. We can say potato. I think whatever word we use, I think is up for discussion. The key thing is, how can we help individuals to integrate, or how can we help individuals to find what works for them? That's the thing. So that when we show up again, we're not worn out, we're not worn down. It's about peace, it's about tranquility and operating in your purpose. So through, when I speak, my speaking events and engagements, I'm about living great life, or one part of that 5-step formula. Recently, I just talked about breakthrough overload. I was at a virtual conference last week, and it was just about that. I talked about breaking through limitations, specifically of overload, whether it's through my books. I'm in several anthologies this year. So each chapter has something to do with living a great life. And then also through the coaching, which is, the masterminds and things that I'm so excited are coming up. It's living that great life for a woman, knowing that you don't have to sacrifice your family, your freedom, or your wellness. It's so important to keep, because no one wants to say I'm stressed out, right? We don't want to walk around stressed. No one wants to say I'm tired. We want relief. That's what it's about. I want relief, and I want to be able to show up my best version. I want to be able to show up and be me. And that's what it's
Yes,
about. Yes.
exactly. Yes, yes, ma'am. And you also had a challenge recently too, right?
Yes.
What
Yes.
was the challenge
Yes,
about?
it was I'm so excited. 28 days wellness. And so the 28 days were broken down into 4 weeks. So 4 weeks. And so the first week was physical wellness. The second week was mental wellness. The third week, emotional wellness. And the fourth week was spiritual wellness. And it's key that we understand and that people, if they haven't really thought about wellness before, know that it's not just about health. We talk about that, and for decades, medicine's like health. Okay, you're sick, you don't have a disease. But wellness is more than that. Wellness is not just about what isn't happening in your body or your mind, but it's taking into consideration too, our spirit. Some sources may say it's the spirit, some say it's soul, or recognizing that man is composed of three parts. And if we're going to be all that we were created to be and show up in order to be well or to be whole, first is to recognize those three parts and then to nurture all of those. So that was important. And so we had an amazing time. And I talked about tips each week. And again, some things that will give some quick wins. Some things we talked about energy, some things that could help with energy. The next week was the power of positive thinking. What's your thought life? The third week, emotional wellness. And I shared something in one of the lives. I talk about when I was bullied. I talked about emotional hurts and emotional healing, and I talked about being bullied in elementary school and junior high school, and that I forgave them. So I actually had a segment to talk about forgiveness, and man, that's a powerful thing. Like I said, people. So it was good, and then we wrapped up with spiritual wellness. So not the last time that I would do it, and certainly not limited to that. So there'll be more to come. Definitely more to come.
I love that. Now, let me ask you this because I think you just made a wonderful point. When we are talking about being whole, it's more than just one aspect of that, you know, um, position, right? When we are whole mind, body, spirit, and I honor you for doing such a challenge like that because it really forces you to be conscious, to be aware that you are encompassing the entire being and not just one aspect of your, being yourself. So is this something you're going to be doing like annually or quarterly? Like how can somebody get involved in such a challenge like this? Because I think that is definitely needed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great way to start and make sure that we are just moving intentionally and making sure that we're whole. So how often do you do challenges like this?
I've gotten really good feedback. So it's going to happen a couple times per year. It may even be once a quarter, but also in my community, which is the Live Great Lives Network, that's one of the things that's part of the membership. And again, that'll be launched towards the end of September. And that's one of the things that I have in the first, 60 to 90 days. So when, every member comes into the network, there's a portion of that, the vibrant wellness program, plus some other things that I cover because I want women, when they come in to get that foundation. And it's so important. So I'm, more to come, and definitely more with that wellness that will include that spiritual aspect for people who want it. Again, this is not anything like, oh, you have to enforce it. This is available for individuals who are are looking for that and want to embrace that and add that in their plan of wellness. Does that make sense? That it's not.
Yes, it does. Yes, yes. You're not forcing them on it, but honey, you are giving them the opportunity to dive on in.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love it. Now, you've also authored a couple of books. Tell us about that.
Yes. So the book that I authored, the first one was a discipleship journal. So that was about 10 years ago. Really had a great time with that. And that was called Honey from Heaven. God's word is honey. And when I tell you, I'm an avid reader. I'm a student. I will probably be a student until it's time for me to go home. But when I tell you, I love, 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 love the Bible. That's why I love teaching it, because it was my life preserver. When I gave my life to Christ, it was my life preserver. It's still my everything, my lamp, my light, my milk, my meat, everything. And so that journal was a place where you had space for your Sunday school notes, your worship notes. You had a place for your prayer and some other things. So I am going to revamp that. I think that, probably next year, but that will make a return because it was so needed. And I really got great feedback from that. My current book is called Picture Your Great Life, and it's 21 principles and reflections on great living. So this is what it is here. And so great living, great lives. This is about helping individuals to walk in their greatness. We were all created for greatness, to do good works and to live a great life. And This life is a journey, it's a discovery. Man, oh man, it's so wonderful. So in the book, the first half includes 21 reflections. So space for you to think about something, right? If you're moved to, and then there's also something to ponder on. So principles, we all need principles to live by. How do we make decisions about right or wrong, and how we respond and interpret our world. And then we also need reflections. We take time to think about it. So that's there. And then the second half of the book focuses on creative visualization. So it's like taking a vision board to the next level. A lot of people are familiar with the vision board, which is cool, right? We probably have done several, been to a couple parties, but the process, the technique of visualization is like another level. Sometimes people call it visioning. If for people, if you haven't done that before, I'm like, this is your season to learn, because once you, I think, get a taste of it and recognize what it is. So this is what that does. And in the book, and now this is an ebook and a PDF. So if someone wanted to just look at it on their phone or device, they have that. But this is meant to be a workbook. I encourage people, again, to print it out and work through it. And so there are a couple places here when there's a space for a picture frame. Because ideally, again, you want to think about your life or different scenes and put it in there. So vision, having a vision is part of my story. We have several stories. So having a vision is part of my success. Holding that vision from the time I was 15 for about a decade or so later in terms of being a doctor. So I learned it, I put it into place. And so that's what I teach individuals as well.
I love that. And as you were speaking, I was just hearing manifestation Bible, manifestation guide. And that's a perfect way to start changing the way we think, right? Changing that mindset and making sure that we are able to see where we're wanting to go. Manifestation, visualization. I love it. I
Mhm.
love it. Wonderful, wonderful. So tell us, you are a busy woman. Do you have anything coming up that you want to let everybody know about so that they won't miss anything from you?
Yes, so I would say, well, I'm working with Kern Crockett Cherry on the anthology Undefeated. So you're going to see things about that. The title, we think about undefeated, not defeated. So that is huge, especially, for women in our circle. We're doing the thing. So looking forward to that and how that project will move forward. I'm also involved in another anthology series, David and Goliath. So I believe this week the second book is coming out, the third one at the end of the year, and my community, the Live Great Lives Network. So stay tuned, because probably at the end of the week, you'll hear more about that. And leading up to that, I'll be hosting a workshop. So I'm tweaking the title. When I tell you, I think it's going to be like super saucy. People, use different words. Fire, is it hot? But I think it's going to be something that ladies will go, oh, okay, I need to check into this, and it will be free. It will be a free workshop. I want to, again, it's filling a need that we have. I want to pour into the ladies, and it'll be the introduction to the Live Great Lives Network. So I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you. I'm going to definitely follow you myself personally because I mean, that's fire right there. So just hearing you talk about what you have coming up, and I love the fact that not everything you do come with the invoice, right? You see the need and you're pouring into the women that you feel like could definitely benefit from you, and you are giving them the opportunity to be able to come to the table and eat and just get what God has already poured into you for them. So I'm excited about it. I would definitely be on the lookout for it. And I'm going to follow you as soon as we get off air so that I don't miss anything you have coming up. If they wanted to follow you or reach out to you,
Mhm.
let's drop some of your contact information so that we can make sure that they have what they need to be able to keep up with you.
Yes,
So we
yes.
had talked about your Facebook group before,
Hmm. Hmm.
Live Great Lives Network. So definitely follow her Facebook group. This is a paid Facebook group, right?
You said, what did you say about that? The word?
Is is this a paid group? Is it a paid group?
Not yet. It's going to be at free access for the or open access for the next couple of days. So that will be,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah,
got
that's
you.
it.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a couple more days
Hmm.
that she has access open. So
Hmm.
definitely get into her Facebook group, and I'm sure that you will be able to see everything that she has going on in her group.
Uh-huh.
Also, you can reach out to her on Facebook and LinkedIn. Just look her up by her name, Angela Harden-Mack.
Mm-hmm.
She's on Instagram, Twitter, and Clubhouse by her name, Angela HM
HM
Speaks.
Speaks. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Angela HM Speaks. I just want to make sure that I did not mess that up. And you have a lot of information on your website as well. So can they purchase your books on your website?
Right. So the Picture Your Great Life should be there. Also, there may be the link for the free gift, livegreatlivesgift.com, but I think there's a link there. The anthology is not there. I don't have that because that's something if people wanted to get the electronic. That one you can go to Amazon. Some people like that, but this is something like when I'm out at events that I actually have that and make that available. So the website definitely has some information about the book and also the free gift should be there for.
Awesome. Well, amazing. Well, Dr. Angela, it has been an honor having you here tonight. You are welcome back anytime. I'm going to give you the opportunity for our final words. So before we do that, let's make sure I've covered everything. But I wanted to ask you before we go, because I know that you are extremely busy. You have a lot going on. And I like to make sure that I check in with my guests, especially our women, to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, as we talked about earlier. So, what are some of the things that you do to make sure that you stay whole and well?
Yeah, well, I take time for myself every day. That's something I have to learn, but at least 10 or 15 minutes. So whether it's morning, lunch break, or evening, that's important. I have something that I do this for fun. I like to read, and sometimes I get these like science fiction, romance, something that's totally unrelated to medicine and faith because I need my mind to not be in that technical mode. So it's
Mhm.
girly girl, it's romance. I love it, love it, love it because I just get to dive in. So have something that's fun. And I would say laugh. You have to every day smile and laugh because that's positive energy and it really lifts you. So time for yourself, something that allows you to just totally just relax and smile and laugh. I'll say
I
that another way.
love it. I love it. And I love that you have a plan. You know exactly what you need to do to make sure that you keep yourself in a good space. So I love that. I love that. I'm going to give you the opportunity for final words. Like I said, it has been an honor having you here tonight, and you are welcome back anytime. And actually, I'm looking forward to when you are ready to drop those workshops. I hope you can just feel at home where you can just come back and just share it with our audience. So
Thank
it
you, and
has
I look
been
forward to it. I tell you, the welcome has been absolutely amazing, and so for those of you watching, I tell you, this has just been wonderful. The energy, sometimes when you're in a place, it's different, like I said, but this was absolutely wonderful. So I appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to serve. So I look forward to coming back. What I would like to share with individuals, I want you to know that you are amazing. I want you to know that you are beautifully and wonderfully made for a purpose. You are amazing. You are created for greatness, to do great works, and to live your great life. And so life is a journey. It's a journey of discovery. And when you identify your greatness and your purpose, the sky is the limit. All things are possible. So I want to leave that with you, to bless you with that. And I look forward to seeing you.
well, amazing. Well, with that said, I think she has wrapped up the show. So definitely come back and join us Thursday night. We will have another amazing show. We will have Tamika Washington in the house Thursday night, and we're going to be learning more about what she has going on and a special project that she is currently working in as well. So you don't want to miss our show Thursday night. Definitely come back. And until next time, family, you know how we do it. Continue to share, connect, and glow because building your network also builds your net worth. So until next time, stay good to each other. Peace and blessings. Good night.
Thank you for watching Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. Tune in every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Kiva's Place. To be a guest on our show, text the word guest to 803-368-3030 or visit us at tinyurl.com/Kiva's Place Book. And watch us on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire as we're broadcasting in more than 60 million homes worldwide.